Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. So as the title suggests, today I'll be talking about my favorite books of 2023. So I had a goal of reading 24 books this year, which I'd set on Goodreads. Not sure if you can see this, but I hope you can. Oh, I don't know how to make this focus on my phone, but anyway. I had a goal of reading 24 books this year, and right now it's October. And I have read 26 books, which means I've surpassed my goal already. So I just want to share some of my favorite books from the 26 books that I've been reading this year so far. And these books are not ranked in any order. I'm just going through this list of the books that I've read, and I'm just sharing my 2 cents on every book that I kind of like. Yeah. So I read this book by Matthew Perry, which is called Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing. So if you don't know who Matthew Perry is this guy on Friends. What is his name on Friends? Oh, they forgot his name. Let's see Friends cast and then. So if you don't know who Matthew Perry is, so Matthew Perry is Chandler on the TV series Friends. And in this book, he definitely tells his life story. So I would say his book, to some degree, it's kind of like a very hard book to digest, because I think for me, most of the things that he was talking about, they're the kind of things that I've never experienced in my life, because I've never struggled with alcohol consumption, like over being addicted to alcohol or being addicted to drugs. I've never been there in my life. So I'd say like most of the things that he talked about were kind of like new to me. But then it kind of like opened my eyes to like how other people struggle with like being addicts and all of that. So his book, it shades like light on the other side of the road that I've never been down to, and it made me feel like real bad for him, because essentially this guy has been struggling with being an addict for as long as I've been alive. And to me, that was kind of like heartbreaking, because he's been struggling with that thing for like a very long time, to some point that he felt like the whole thing was about to take his life, or like he was about to lose like everything. And he's still alive, but then, I mean, I'm just grateful that he opened up and shared his story, and he allowed us to see the other side of things that we would not normally see, and I appreciate his courage for that. But I also wish him so much light in his life, and I hope he finds the happiness and joy in everything that he wishes for. So that's one book that I have read this year, and I liked, although it was very hard to digest, but I did appreciate the strength it took to write this book. Another book that I have read this year and I've liked is this book called Beach Read by Henry Henry. So I like Henry Henry's book because they're more like light reads. So they're very simple stories, love, romance, and all of that. So I like this, and I like her stories basically because they are small town romance. Like it's girl meets boy in a small town where everyone knows everyone, and it's kind of cute. So I like the book just for that, because it was kind of like a very refreshing read. Also, somehow Beach Read made me want to read like a little bit more of romance. Though before it, I was not reading a lot of romance, but after reading Beach Read, I was like, I might as well read other like 2-3 romances after this, and I did 2 romance after Beach Read, just because it kind of like gave me the Beach Read vibe, and it was just a good book anyway. Another good book that I've read this year is Daisy Jones and the Six, and I did the audio version of this, and I would highly recommend, if you read Daisy Jones and the Six, do the audio version, because it's much better. And Daisy Jones and the Six is a book about Daisy Jones and the Six. So they were a music band back in the days, so the book just covers the whole story, like how, because Daisy Jones was a singer and the Six was a band, like how they came to unite, how they worked together, all the shenanigans that happened while they're working together, their personal life, and how their personal life collided with their career. It's a whole fiesta, and it's a good book. I mean, like, Daisy Jones is not the best person inside the book, but I liked Daisy Jones. I mean, I think I like people who just be like, fuck the world, I'm gonna do what I want. And Daisy Jones was more like that, and I like her courage and I like her. So I hope our life turned out like really great. I mean, if you haven't read it, please go and read it. It's so nice. So another good book that I've read in like this year is Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey. So Green Lights is a biography of Matthew McConaughey. If you don't know who Matthew McConaughey is, please Google it. So he's an actor, very good, very talented. He has this thunder-striking voice. So good, so good. And then I made the best decision of listening to this book. Like, I did not read the actual book, I listened to it on Audible. Oh, the best experience. So if you have not read Green Lights, I would highly recommend you do it on Audible instead of like the actual book. Like, your experience gets better like 10 times forward, you know. So Green Lights is essentially just like a story about Matthew McConaughey's life, like how he moved through his life, how he became famous, how he walked through his fame, the lessons he has learned along the way, and just things that happen in people's life. I think I like biographies because I really love learning from the lives of others. So biographies kind of like give me that light, especially because they're written by themselves. So it's their own thought about themselves. It's not what a third person thinks about them. It's what they think about themselves. So I really like them for that. Another book that I read this year and I really did enjoy is A Little Life. A Little Life is heartbreakingly good. Like, the story is not the best story. Like, the story is heartbreaking, but the book is very good. I mean, like, this book will have you feel all the emotions you have not felt in like 10 years. You know, like, it's so good. I've cried so many times reading this book, and I did not regret even like reading it. It's such a thick book because a lot of stories are told in it, but it's worth the read. And I think something else that I did like about A Little Life is that each character had the chance to tell their own story, you know. And like other books where like other characters are just like supporting characters where you never get to know their stories, in A Little Life, each and every character had the chance to tell their story, which is kind of, it gives you more insight on the story. But the story is just like heartbreaking good. The story was so nice. I highly recommend A Little Life if you haven't read it already. So it's A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. So that was also one of the best books that I've read. And last but not least, one of the other books that I did enjoy this year, and I did read this book back in January, it's the Almanac of Naval Ravikant, and it's written by Eric Jorgensen, I think, yeah. So I also like this book, I just think it has like a lot of gems, and there are a lot of things that could be learned inside the book. So yeah, that's it. So I'll still be reading other books apart from the 26 that I've read so far, but like I have 2 books that I'm reading at the moment, and I have like 3 other books on my wait list, and I'm not sure how many books I'll read until the end of the year, but I'll keep on reading. But these so far are my favorites for this year, and hopefully I'll record another favorite for next year, but we can still hope. So thank you guys for watching the very end. That will be it for this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. I hope you have grabbed a book or 2 that you might go read for yourself. And don't forget to subscribe and join my little community. Until next time, adios.